All right, welcome back. Today we're talking about data encryption keys, or DEKs for short. And I'm very excited about this tutorial because also we'll discover what envelope encryption is, a very interesting process or method of encrypting data. So envelope encryption, the way it's usually described is you take some data, you put it in one envelope which is encrypted, and then you put that envelope in another envelope which is encrypted. And it's kind of like encrypting the envelope that is containing the data. Now, this can be a little bit confusing because this implies that the bigger envelope, in this case, the red envelope in the image, contains the other envelope and the data itself. So it's encrypting all this huge volume. Imagine you have 100 megabytes of data. The yellow envelope, orange envelope is encrypting 100 megabytes, and the red envelope is encrypting 100 megabytes plus the yellow envelope. That's not the case. Really, what you're encrypting with the red envelope is the key to the yellow envelope. So I prefer this diagram, where you're encrypting the data in the yellow envelope, but then the key to the yellow envelope is encrypted in the red envelope. And that's what that's what envelope encryption is all about. Okay, so let's look at this in practical terms. Here we have data and we want to store it on S3. By the way, S3 is just an example. This could be RDS, it could be DynamoDB, it could be lots of different services. Basically, you have application data which is larger than 4 kilobytes. Remember, in KMS, as we discussed previously, we can store only up to 4 kilobytes of data. So what happens in this case? Well, S3, the service S3, goes to KMS and creates a key. And it has encrypt permissions on that key. And then what happens is it accesses this key. This key could already be created. Depends on if you're using your own customer key, then it'll create a new one, or use your existing one, or it'll use an AWS owned key. Doesn't matter. Basically, there's a key in KMS. S3 accesses this key, and then using this key, remember we can't encrypt the data because it's 100 megabytes, and we can only encrypt up to 4 kilobytes using a KMS key. So what it does is something very cool. It goes and takes this key and creates a data encryption key. So this key is now used to create another key. Basically, a random key is created and it's encrypted using this KMS key. So basically, you get two versions. You get the plaintext version of this new key, and you get an encrypted version of this new key. So the plaintext version is used to encrypt the data, and this is done outside of KMS. This is very important. In this case, would be done by the S3 server, so you can do this yourself, or it can be done by RDS, or whatever service is using this key. So the plaintext form of the key is used to encrypt the data, and then it's discarded, whereas the encrypted version of the key is kept and it's stored along with the data. So you can see we have the orange lock. It means we use the orange key to encrypt it, and we have the red lock, meaning we used it's encrypted with KMS. Okay, and so from there, so these are stored together, and that's the whole encryption process. So whenever a user, let's say Sally, wants to decrypt this data, she'll need decrypt permissions from KMS. She'll get access to the key. The key from KMS will be used to decrypt the second key, the secondary key, and then that key already will be used to decrypt the data, and then it will be discarded. And again, this will be done outside of KMS because remember, the limitation of KMS is 4 kilobytes. So remember this for your exam. In this case, in data encryption keys, or in envelope encryption, KMS is used as like an auxiliary function. It's used only to encrypt the key that is that provides access to the data. And that is sufficient, right? If the key is encrypted, you can't use it to open the data. You still need KMS to open it. But this is a much more efficient process than using KMS to encrypt the whole volume of your data. There'd be too many API calls to KMS, and also it's just not designed for that. So you can see this is a very cool workaround, and it's called envelope encryption. Here's a quick summary of what we discussed. I look forward to seeing you back here next time. And until then, enjoy the cloud.